Thank you very much, Zoe. Look, I mean, I've heard a few DPay speeches in my time.
Yeah.
We used to sit, we used to be in like underneath the stage in like the caster room with the green screen behind us.
Our little dungeon.
Walk past us,
little
right?
caster dungeon.
And DPay would be right there giving speeches. Love the guy, you know. Half his speeches didn't make any sense.
Give a speech right now, Mitch, to the Vancouver Titans. If they
no,
were in your garage right now, ready to walk out,
all right, here's what I'm doing.
What would you tell them?
Talking to False, you're not in the starting lineup, False, but your ex-teammates on the other side, you know, you used to play together on American Tornado. You want to prove to him that you can, it's like when you break up. You want to win the breakup, you know what I mean? You want to be the one that goes separate ways and comes out on top. Right now, not
really
the case. I'm not
like
subbing you in for this one. But the rest of you, what we're doing, we're going to get Mirror. Yeah, Mirror. You know, we tried to put Psycho on Doom, didn't really work out. Well, completely different approach. We're going to do that with Mirror this time. We're going to put him in its tank to start with and see what happens. Because like DPay said on Twitter, they're really trying to look for the things that they're really good at. And they're one of the few teams that are like switching DPS players to tank, so they're going to run it back again.
There is talent on this roster. Like we've seen these players in other situations like play well. It's just in the first 6 games that was not happening. So you bring in DPay as a coach. Was DPay a coach of the Gladiators when they were, remember when like Mirror was on the Gladiators and they were using him in the off-tank role, right? Like he would come in and play Zarya at times, right. You know, when they would sub out Space and put Mirror in the game. So don't really expect Zarya. That's like a meta that I feel like is past already, but possibly on the Doomfist. And I can tell you, you know, a shockwave on the Sojourn during the alpha beta period was the just kind of like you saw him in the lobby and everybody was like, oh, no, let me go find another one. Crazy on that hero. So maybe he's going to play that. Maybe we see him pop up.
Look, yeah, like we said, the first time we saw Mirror for this team, he was put in the day he was signed, and it was like a mess. Like there was
no seen him since.
Right, it wasn't quite there. I love Zoe's description of the Titans, a team that didn't win the kickoff clash. That's very true. Yeah, here's a team that did win the kickoff clash. It's going to be, of course, the Los Angeles Gladiators. This team now, I mean, kind of blew us away. We knew they'd be a top contender, but it was that extra level that Patapan specifically managed to find while in Texas that just sent this team straight to the moon. I mean, it put this team in a position where they were like competitive against Dallas and Atlanta, like, you know, like neck and neck, to just like absolutely rolling Dallas in front of their home crowd in the final. There was just no team that came even close.
No, and see, Patty, that happy after kind of winning, just the relief. You feel like that's a huge monkey off his back going into the rest of the season, right? Like, you know, dealing with so much pressure from fans and whatnot, to be able to play at that level and win the first tournament of the year has to feel really good. Has to be a big confidence boost moving forward that you can now just play your game. You know, everybody knows what you're capable of, knows what you can do. And this team, they're set up for greatness the whole year.
Let's be clear. Reiner is the future for this team. I mean, if I think of like someone who's being set up to be like a franchise player, it's him. Comes in, obviously, out of T2, out of contenders, and just blows our minds basically straight away, right? Up against just some incredibly seasoned main tank players. It was very clear to see that like Reiner didn't need any time to catch up to the rest of the league. In fact, he started ahead of many of them.
I mean, he also goes into a fantastic situation, right? I mean, you have Kevster, you have Ons, you have Shu, Funny Astro, skewed on this team. It's not like, you know, you're kind of going to be the franchise that got to like lift up a team that's, you know, not performed great in the past. He's a huge piece to this team, and I kind of agree with you, but I also think the players around, like they have, you know, top caliber players at every position across the board.
So again, let's see what the Titans have been cooking up. DPay said, which I don't like it here. I don't like it in this setup.
Yeah, so it'll be Kevster on the Sojourn here for the Gladiators. So they'll play the Reinhardt with the Sojourn in the May, and they're going up against Shockwave on the Sojourn. Like I mentioned, they're going to play Junkrat here.
Zarya into a Reinhardt composition, Matt. What are your thoughts?
So, I mean, we've seen it do pretty well in the past, but I don't know if the setup against like the Reinhardt with the May is going to work out great. But you can't exactly push straight into the Junkrat, so maybe the Junkrat is a bit of a deterrent.
It's definitely slowed the game down for the Glads. But they have a maze, so they don't exactly want to, run it down, as Kai put it. They do want to control the pace a little bit more. Look, they find that first pick. Kempster deals with Aztec. The backline's gone for the Titans, and yeah, they have a Junkrat. He gets ignored until last.
Yeah, not able to manage here as Mirage gets run down. It's a nice shot there from Shockwave. A biotic grenade here from Aztec, but I don't think you're going to be able to follow any of this up. You're going to have to wait, so Titans will come out of the spawn. You get, again, same type of competition. I fully expect Mirror to be playing things like this Zarya, maybe the Sigma D.Va, but when we've seen him on Tank in the past, and I think Doom, in Overwatch 1, it was always on this Zarya, so maybe this is why they want him in.
Again, I mean, you thought that maybe False would provide you with that anyway, but have to see. Rhino Shield's going to get brought down here. Yeah, Mirror gets a nano boosted. That's that Shockwave you kind of talked about, man.
He is crazy at this hero. Doing insane stuff there with the ultimate, able to pick up 3. You can shoot Rhino right through shield, right? Doesn't matter if it's up, if you got the ultimate active. So Vancouver will take control of the point. Let's see this from Shockwave's POV.
Wait a minute. Oh, man. Yeah, it's nutty. Again, yeah, the fact your rail piece is everything while you're overcharged or overclocked, rather. That's huge. We got the Riptide there from Aspire. Shockwave has to quickly reposition. That's an interesting use of Blizzard there. It actually allows the Clads to flip the point. Rhino looked for a shadow. I think he got Massa, but that's it. But Mirror lacks teammates right now. It's just a Lucio to help him out, and Rhino just gets back in the way of Patapon with the shield. The Glads flip with that Blizzard, and now they have a power position.
Yeah, they have to be careful, though, I was going to say, to push up and get caught inside of this grab. They're going to end up using the sound barrier, though, to keep everybody alive. And a nice sleep there from Aztec right before he goes down onto Kevster.
Yeah, okay, maybe it shuts Kevster down, but the damage was well and truly already done there. He finds the big pick onto that main source of healing, and the Glads are now close to the finish line. Funny Astro, a very aggressive play towards Mirror, who actually ends up blowing himself up with a right click. And the Glads are looking bruised, but they maintain control.
Interesting. Cassidy with the Sojourn here. They're going to have Mirror switch over to the Doom. This is most likely just to get in and get a touch.
Aspire flanking angle, working around Reiner's shield. Sees a mate coming for him. Feels pretty good in that matchup, but the wall's going to make it hard for him to get involved. He squeezes through the gap that it left him. But careful, Aztec in the backline, because Kevsters has cleaned up Mirror. Immortality field deployed across the map for Patapon, and Shu is going to hold his own against Massa. Trying to get aggressive here, but Massa just gets rolled. Shu, I mean, you're crazy if you're trying to do that to Shu.
Not many people can take out Shu, and he's got that type of setup there on the Batiste, and even with Batiste becoming quite strong here as we go into the Midseason Madness. What does Vancouver go away from this comp to? I imagine it is Doomfist-centric compositions. I do not think you'd have Mirror in here to play like a Winston or a Sigma, and specifically, or even a Wrecking Ball, right, on Lijiang Tower. Sweet, you're gonna see the Doomfist setup coming out from the Titans. Zen Lucio as a support setup, and I imagine Kevster will go over to the Sojourn and we'll have a composition that looks very similar for the Gladiators as the first one.
Surely not Zen Lucio here, right? Okay, tell me about this support lineup in 5v5.
I mean, this is Zen Lucio is like a throwback. As Shockwave there able to take out Shu as he's crossing the bridge. So before Shu's even able to get in the fight, the Lucio was always like used to protect the Zen in situations in the past, right? Before like Brigitte.
Zen Lucio, better than Lucio, yeah. I guess.
Yeah. Before Brigitte existed, using the boops, being able to kind of peel for the Zen. Zen can also just kick people away now. It's a bit of a throwback, though. So we'll see how they make use of it here.
All right. Obviously, you like a few of the tools that you have with Ana. No sleep, no bio.
Two big support ults, though. Sound Barrier and Transcendence.
Yeah, they're really playing for ults. I mean, okay. Deepay's been cooking up something a little spicy, I'm not going to lie. Let's see how this plays out in longer fights, though, when you sort of lack that raw healing sort of magnitude. Yeah, it looks like with the Gladiators, for whatever reason, just able to roll over the Titans here. This fight begins. Shu, Patapon, Kevster all getting involved.
Yeah, I mean, the fights need to end fast for the Titan. You have the AoE healing abilities of Lucio, but not the strongest. And you have the Zen just with the Harmony Orb, but that's about it. You're really relying on Discord, Doomfist damage, some shots from Shockwave and Aspire to really just kind of like blow up some of these targets, get an early advantage. But now Masa goes over to the break. This is something we've seen a little bit more from other teams.
All right, here's the overclock from Shockwave. Doesn't have a great position to kind of do damage here. Funny Astro's able to avoid it. Well, there's an air matrix just around the corner. The Immortality Field hastily thrown to the feet of Shu as he's accosted by Mirror. The Gladiators able to stave off that hulking assailant. The Spy still harassing Shu from the backside, and that disrupt the shot forces Shu out of position. But again, that regenerative burst, that instant 100 HP heal, man, that's massive.
Yeah, when Shockwave's trying to cross the bridge, they use a disruptor shot, and then they also end up using the Ant Matrix, so he's not able to cross it with that ultimate. It'll be a sound barrier here from Funny Astro, not able to keep Shu alive, though.
Kevster avoids Mirror. Mirror decides to go elsewhere to try and make something happen, and Kevster says, fine, okay, in your absence, I'm going to be able to sit back, charge a rail, and finish you off. Kevster to the point now, but he doesn't connect that first rail against Shockwave, and all he'll do is try and poke it, hope not to feed.
Yes, Vancouver able to flip that point, and you ended up having the Gladiators burn that sound barrier, so maybe you can make something out of this.
I mean, just as Kai mentioned, you're so killable as a Sojourn when you're in midair, when you pop that jump up. Kevster staying alive for now, but Aspire's able to run him down eventually here. A lot of pressure going in the direction of Aztac, but Mirror has to get involved. Reiner gives up his life for that Zen elimination. Patapan, concerned about power block here. Can't connect any ice spikes on the Mirror. Finally gets him, but he used the ice block in order to do so. And the Glads are just sort of stalling unnecessarily now.
They're just kind of throwing themselves at the point, just trying to take it back as, yeah, like 3 players here now for the Gladiators as Reiner now over to the Doomfist.
Good stick on Reiner. Aspire going to connect that one admirably. Meanwhile, Shu is down. The Gladiators are in trouble here. They must regroup.
Looks like it's like Hardpoint from Call of Duty.
Just keep running in.
Just throwing bodies at the point. As finally a little bit of a break in the action as the Gladiators going to regroup for one final attempt.
They look quieter since Master switched over towards the Brigitte. Aspire's been having a good round so far, to be sure. Okay, see Patapan switching to the Tracer off the May here. Aspire also more than happy to play that Tracer. This air matrix could be a problem. Shu's going to throw that Immortality Field down, but Shockwave takes it down with the disruptor shot and then just gets the kill on Shu clean with the rail. He's looking for Kevster now, trying to pressure one more right click will do the job. Kevster disruptor shot at his feet is Shockwave. It's messy, but he gets what he came for. The Glads flip the point back during that fight, but they don't have the numbers to hold it right now. Sound barrier for Funny Astro, just him and Reiner against the world.
Yeah, Reiner's getting so close to the Meteor Strike, would have been enough to keep him alive. You see Shu throws in the Immortality Field at the end, trying to catch him on the corner as Titans trying to flip and steal this point.
99%. It's the overtime here for the Vancouver Titans as Kevster is felled. And who would have thought? Quite a competitive round here on Lijiang Tower between one of the bottom teams and the very top one in the Overwatch League. Reiner found Aztac somehow and Aspire's going to get punched. I spoke too soon, surely not! How is this card crumbling down? You're right about hardpoint, Matt, because the bodies just keep getting thrown at the point of the Gladiators are the ones with the numbers advantage at the end. Shockwave now to be chased down. He already used the health pack, he's done, and the Glads are back in control.
And you look at this, Patapan has the Pulse Bomb. Could be a huge difference here. Is Shockwave just going to spawn? He's going to get back into this quite late. They're going to rely on Aspire to touch.
Mirror giving Patapan a bit of space here as that Pulse Bomb. He's itching to make some use of that. There it is, great connection on Mirror. He's going to have to Meteor Strike out of that. He's half HP when he's going to drop back down. He found Kevster though, straight through Shu's Immortality Field. He knew he'd destroy that immediately if he just dropped on top of it. And Kevster thought he was safe, rather, staying alive under it. That wasn't the case at all. Shu goes down, Mirror now needs to turn around. Discord Orb was thrown there on Reiner, and Mirror's able to avoid him for the time being. The brawl is good for the Vancouver Titans. This look with Mirror at Doomfist, it works, and they even things up on Lijiang.
And I think they looked much better once they switched off of the Lucio and brought the Brigitte into the mix. It allows him to brawl on that point a little bit more, and the rally at the end there from Masa makes the difference. So first round didn't look that great for Vancouver, running some of that Zarya composition, but looked much better there. Is 1 point away from stealing map number 1 against the Gladiators.
So at the very least, it feels like Vancouver have a very good Doomfist look. That's definitely something we saw much more, you know, in the kickoff clash, and the teams are sort of experimenting with other looks at the moment. But it's a huge improvement for them because, frankly, they had no good compositions, you know, in the kickoff clash. So some big strides already being taken by the Vancouver Titans towards recovery.
Look, I mean, I said I didn't even believe that the Titans were the worst team in the kickoff clash. That you know, they had some moments where they did look pretty decent. I actually do kind of like the talent on this team. Just, you know, in terms of putting it together, it has not looked good thus far. But individually, I think you have some pieces to work with here. Is Gladiators, they'll play the Cassidy with the Sojourn here in combination with a Reinhardt, and going to play a little bit more centered around the point.
Kevster tries to water spider away there with a rail. Patapon though, oh, the mag grenade connecting. Shockwave deciding to power slide forward straight into that one. And yeah, I mean, that's a huge relief. Getting rid of one of those flankers, a Sojourn out of the picture here, means that Patapon's okay, dude.
Yeah, so that magnetic grenade, we haven't seen a ton of like kills with it. It is pretty strong. Like the auto lock on pretty much at close range, especially against heroes like a Sojourn or Tracer. Tracer doesn't have recall, just like throw it onto the Tracer. Any bit of damage is going to result in a kill. Sojourn as well with not a large HP pool, so Cassidy a pretty good choice here.
Yeah, it's huge. You get two like body shots and then a mag grenade stick, and there's no burst healing for Vancouver to like save someone from that, you know, guaranteed death. It's really powerful. I mean, no mag grenade needed there. I guess Patapon just absolutely ruins the Spire. A Tracer pick maybe not feeling nearly as good as this is where Patapon wants to be, this mid to long range. Okay.
Oh, this is not where he wants to be.
I mean, he tried a mag grenade there. That one just got shot out of the sky as Shockwave is looking very, very good here.
Like he does not want to be in the middle of the map here going up against Shockwave as he's got his ultimate. This will allow the Titans, yeah, they'll flip the point.
Yeah, I mean, that's a dominant fight. Shockwave busy playing quite glide here. Very clean rails. And then obviously Aspire connecting a pulse bomb kill on the board. Shu really locks that one up here. So not a great start for them as they fall foul of Patapon on the Cassidy, but they managed to find their way in on that fight as Patapon is caught in a really awkward spot against an ulting Sojourn.
Yeah. Mir got a charged punch ready to go.
Damn, that's nasty. Mira comes in, and that's a very big stun. Meteor strikes straight back down on top of the Immortality Field once more. Shockwave helps him by getting rid of it. And just a matter of time, just wait. Mira's so healthy here on the point. Power block now being used. He just uses the punch to reposition. Gladiator's going to get put in the blender.
A shatter here by Reiner trying to turn the tide. He'll get one. But do they have enough damage to follow up on anything else? It does not look likely. No, Reiner picks up one more.
I mean, Air Matrix Fire Strike gets even better with Reinhardt on Overwatch 2 as you have two of those just to fire off before the opponents can reposition. Unfortunately for the Glads, it's just not enough.
Yes, the Gladiators going to try and back up here. The Titans are going to end up taking the lead off of this. Deadeye use, and Kevster has used his overclock as well.
Well, a lot of good poke damage here. I mean, Vancouver aren't quick enough to sort of get out of those effective ranges, but a flank from, excuse me, Aztec just wraps around on his own and deals with Kevster while he was feeling his most powerful. I mean, this is still happening. There's still a fight to be had here. No take from the Titans really hurts them, and oh, Master falls foul of Funny Astro.
This has just been all-out chaos here in this first map. Okay, so Reiner's gonna Fire Strike, gonna get a speed boost here with a sound barrier, get right up into the mix. So that's kind of how you want to use that Reinhardt. He'll be able to connect with 3. That'll also charge up another shatter for him coming into potentially the final fight.
Yeah, Transcendence online here for the Vancouver Titans, so it's anything but done. But it's a matter of getting in position before they sort of get shut down. You know, see Kevster on this Tracer means Patapon's on the Sojourn now. And an Earth Shatter for Reiner could be big. Honestly, you maybe just want to shatter Mirror if you can. And that's what they've done, but there's going to be a Transcendence immediately in play for Raztak. Reiner's overextended into an attempted follow-up, but the Immortality Field keeps him standing for a time. Will it be enough time, though? It looks like the answer is yes, because another amped Fire Strike deals with the Spire. And Kevster back on that Tracer, feeling comfortable, feeling fine, is able to come alive. Eventually, Reiner's going to get brought down by Mirror, but Kevster is able to back up, get the mini health pack, and Patapon deals with Aztec there. And even with the power block, Mira cannot stay alive. The Gladiators outlast the Titans, but I mean, it's a bloody brawl.
Much closer than I think a lot of people expected there, but the Gladiators still come out on top. I like the look where they have Kevster on the Tracer there towards the end. I think they're able to put a lot more pressure on the Shockwave like we saw when they were on with his POV, with him and Funny Astro leading the charge.
Yeah, I thought the double hit scan look was quite interesting from the Gladiators, and maybe not normally the way that Kevster chooses to go, but I mean, Sojourn, pretty straightforward. He seemed to be very, very strong on that role, but maybe a little bit of weakness spotted here for the Gladiators. The Titans, I'm liking this. I want to see more from this look with Mirror here at tank. See what else they have up their sleeve. They're going to need to have a pretty deep pool to put pressure on this Glads roster. Don't go too far, everybody. It's map 2. Not too far away. Every time we talked to the Gladiators over in Texas at the kickoff clash, they said their biggest strength was their flexibility. They felt like they could really kind of play anything, and that puts them in good stead coming into a stage where we have a lot of changes here on the Overwatch 2 PvP beta, right, Matt? Where they look like they're able to adapt pretty comfortably. They've got Sojourn, they're playing Ryan, they're playing Cassidy. It looks like everything's still working as intended on the Gladiators side, but that was a messy first map. The Titans have some weapons of their own, and so far they look pretty good.
Yeah, just a little chaotic there on that first map on Control as we go to King's Row. I think things will stabilize and cool down a bit more, though. I think this is where you'll start to see the Gladiators maybe reach the potential that they did during the kickoff clash.
Right. I mean, we have a Control maps that can often be pretty chaotic as it's, a matter of sort of playing team fight to team fight. King's Row seems to be the kind of map where weaker teams can be exposed, especially if they don't have the wide range of compositions required to deal with their opponents. Now, we've seen plenty of Doomfies played on this map. Teams such as the Atlanta Reign have sort of struggled to get success out of Doom playing against Reinhardt comps on this map. But if we get a mirror here for Reiner versus Mirror, I think that's pretty favorable. I think Mirror did just fine against Reiner in the Doom head-to-head on Garden, on Lijiang it was.
Yeah, as see the Gladiators on defense, they'll play the Doomfist composition of their own with Patithan on the Sojourn. So this is what I was talking about at the end of Lijiang Tower, where I like that they had the Tracer in the mix. Kevster so good on that hero. Kevster being able to put a little bit more pressure on the Shockwave. So did we see Mirror on the ball? That would be quite interesting. Nope, back to the Doom. So
Ryan knows exactly what he's doing there. He's obviously using the sign to sort of prevent himself from being headshot, but even if it did happen, it would just get healed in a matter of moments. So it's going to be Zen Brig here for the Titans in their Doomfist-based composition. The Gladiators have the Ana for Shu.
Yeah, they have the Ana plus Lucio. So we saw a little bit from Kevster's POV, but Funny Astro playing really aggressive offensively on the Lucio, putting pressure onto Shockwave. This time it'll probably fall onto Aspire.
Oh, that's so nasty! Even Aspire's lip curls there as he knows he's absolutely gotten the better of Patapan there, and he just waited. What patience from this man. And now he takes the high ground, the territory that's rightfully his, by trial of combat, of course. And now with about a minute down in the round, the Titans looking really good to capture this point. What a huge pick.
And he knew it as well. He was lining it up, knew he had enough charge to finish him off. Can the Gladiators touch again, though? Reiner gonna get discorded. Gonna take big damage, most likely, coming in.
Quick glance to the side there, just in case headshot was coming his way. He drops in there, but Shu just gets minced. A Shockwave, and everybody dives. The counter dive here from the Titans looked really good. They went deep into the choke here, and now the Glads are in awkward positioning, but Kevster and Reiner are still alive. That means there's hope. Great sticky bomb connection from Shockwave, though. That echo is something else.
And this is what I mean, where this team has talent. Like, Masa on the Atlanta Reign last year, right? Like, they don't get to where they are as a team with Masa playing poorly. He had a very strong season. And then Aspire and Shockwave, we've both seen what those players can do in the damage dealer role in this league. Like, Aspire was sick for Toronto last year, and then we know Shockwave previously on the Titans looked great, and then we thought he was going to really ascend with the fusion. It was just a little bit of difficulty with the visas and whatnot.
Yeah, that's right. He never really got.
But it's not like the skill went away. It's like
okay. Patapan able to find Shockwave there. Always a risk to use that flight cooldown when Sojourn's getting charged up. But Patapan knows exactly what it's like to be on the opposite end of a charged rail. Here comes Mirror pushing it forward, and Reiner's gone down, so Patapan needs to do more. He gets rid of Aspire, but it's unlikely he'll find too much now inside that Transcendence. But the Biotic Grenade was good. There's just no chance to follow up on it. The duration of that anti-heal has been reduced in this patch by a decent amount. Enough that the Titans are able to shrug it off.
Oh, they're going to lose Patty, though. All right, Reiner and Kevster on that dive. Going to pick up the remaining members as you see Shu getting all of those assists. So, do they still want to fight this? Shockwave's going to use a duplicate here, and he sleeps Reiner.
He's gross. Comes back with 100 HP there, at least, but he'll eventually get brought down as Kevster sort of follows him. There was a glimmer of hope, but duplicating an Ana up against a Brig and Ana is...
maybe he's
it's hard to win.
Spire goes out of a Tracer. Maybe you're going to match it with the Tracer
here?
combo. You don't have to. You can play
like
the Echo and
bad,
Tracer.
Right?
No, yeah, it's not a bad combo at all, especially with the Doom.
Right, that's Tack starting to wrap around, but well, Pulse got stuck on the door frame there. Kev's to a furrowed brow. Not quite sure what happened there as his package was intercepted by something or other. The Titans taking some time to regroup. Now they're trying the right flank. Going to be an overclock from Patapan here, but Mira found a way to get in. He dives that backline. It'll be Reiner dealing with Aztec, but Patapan's ult is shut down. Rally going to be used here by Masa. But in the absence of Aztec, he definitely needs to do as much healing as humanly possible. That is filth. Gigantic body grenade there. Eventually it's shrugged off, but not before Masa is turned into mincemeat. Reiner's able to get out here with that meteor strike and drop straight on top of Mira, ending his run.
Yeah, is it enough, though, for them to hold on defense? It looks like it at the end as get that kill onto Aspire as Reiner so low. Looking back, try and give Shu some charge on his ultimate, where the Gladiators finally hold serve here on defense, so able to put together 2 defensive stands in a row. Vancouver, no ultimates for this next fight, so Gladiators still look like they're in control. Kevster maybe with a pulse bomb this time can land it onto one of those supports.
It's a big loss of momentum for the Titans here.
Yeah.
They're not really verging on any of those key ultimates, so they need to be patient. Might get a little frustrating for the time being. A lovely double back from Mira. I mean, his Doomfist mechanics are just, I mean, they're sublime. Kevster really has to respect what Mira can provide as a tank player now. On this roster, he knows he played alongside the guy. Pressure on Mira, pulse bomb again. Goes awry.
And it's the Titans, just their dive so good today. Getting aggressive behind Mirror, Shockwave able to pick up 2. Aspire, the cleanup crew there on Tracer, and this should be enough to take this checkpoint B. And this is against the team that won the kickoff clash.
Yes.
I mean, look, I said like weeks ago on Pod Chat that, and we all laughed, but I said I didn't think the Titans were the worst team in the kickoff clash.
Right, but you did.
I did not expect them to
come
get
against
to
Paris, right?
Yeah,
was
I did not expect
13?
them. 14. I did not
14.
expect him to kind of get to like a level like this, like because you know, Titans playing at this level, you know, at least through the first 2 maps here, is still a long way to go in this series to get a win. This level of play will beat a decent amount of teams.
You're right. He's able to not care about the transcendence. I guess having the meteor strike there means the way you play just changes. And he goes aggressively, finds Aztec in the backline. Duplicate there of the Ana. Shockwave goes for a Bionade of his own, but Kevster's has found Aspire, and this is a freebie for Reiner. He'll take that and be happy.
So we do see the Gladiators putting together some good defensive stances. Patapan over to the Widow. So what's interesting is, like, we've seen teams go to like the 76 in the kickoff clash, but 76 obviously gets a little bit of a nerf. So going over to the Widow, that's going to have Shockwave move away from Echo. Echo, pretty easy target, and there's like a long gap here you'd have to cover. And go over to the Hanzo. So Hanzo can access that high ground, also good in that like medium to long range.
Aspire came too. It's just a bit more roundabout, the route to get there. Shockwave now assumes a position up here. Knows that Patapan sat in that back corner. It's a Storm Arrow that grazes his foe. The Mirror, he gets taken down by another very reliable shoot. Biotic Grenade connection. Hanzo on the high ground, still a problem for the Gladiators. They need to wrap this up quickly, otherwise they're going to find that Shockwave's causing them all sorts of problems. Funny Astro taken low, and Masa finishes the job now. His shorthanded Gladiators are on the back foot, and the high ground still belongs to the Titans.
So they finally go back and they get Shockwave, but by the time that happens, you've lost 3 players. This is Mir gonna push forward on the Doomfist. They'll take out Reiner, getting a little spawn camp going on here. Do they have enough to get it over the line though? Kevster's gonna be able to come out and get a touch. Funny Astro as well.
There'll be a pulse bomb follow-up here. It's just stuck to the card, and Masa's easily able to get away from that, perhaps tracked it to a degree. Running against Masa, at the very least, it's going to be a nano on the Doom on the card. Going to be hard to shift him now, for sure. Yes, the Gladiators have been fighting a retreat. You know what I mean? They're winning, you know, every sort of other fight at the very least here, which has made this costly for the Titans. But if they can stop them here, their win condition is well established now, as there's less than 20 seconds left, and the Titans are forced away.
Even with how good the Titans have looked, this is still extremely winnable for the Gladiators. As Titans, this would be huge if they can get this over the line, but Aspire and Mir probably the ones who got to get on and get a touch.
It's about the Bionade here from Shu. Aztec's Transcendence could be huge, but easily shut down if Shu has a comfortable position to lob that in from. Okay, they force it now. Reiner stand up, so is Kevster though. They've seen better days. And it's going to be Reiner falling there. Nice work on Shu, though. That Discord Orb makes it pretty easy for Aspire to work them down. And the Titans look like they come up with the goods here. The Transcendence goes a long way, but it's a huge powered up punch from Mira. A double stun to set this up.
And to be able to get a full map completion there for the Titans is massive, right? If you would have lost right there, you know, that fight at the end, not completed the map, that gives an easy win condition there for the Gladiators, where with the way they've looked on this, like, Doomfist composition with the Tracer in the mix, like, they've looked fantastic today, the Titans.
Oh, look, I think it's fortuitous as well that the map pool hasn't really forced them to show, you know, more of anything else.
Yeah.
You know, I do wonder, like, what they've even had time to work on. Deepay's not been with this team for very long, and I knew, like, the second he got in there, he's like, we're trying to see what we're good at, like what we're exceptional at, and that's going to be our starting point. So finding anything, something that works that can actually allow them to stand up against teams like the Gladiators, definitely it works out. And on this kind of map, they can do that ad hominem, or ad nauseum, excuse me, as much as they sort of like. So we'll see how this develops, but right now, they're on even footing, I'd say, with the Gladiators. The defense look really good, and we talk all the time about the talent on this team. We sort of know what's there. Our issue has always sort of been the coaching and the game plan behind this team. At least there is one now. There's evidence of one that has some degree of efficacy, Matt, against the top
you can
team.
you can come in right away and look at, okay, we know what we have in terms of the damage dealers, and they can play a lot of different things. What is strong that we see other teams running, and what in terms of like tanks and build compositions around that? And you know, Mira looks to be very strong on the Doomfist, so you start to build compositions that are more Doomfist centric, and you can come out and start to look much better as a team right away.
Well, that's a disastrous start. Aztac getting picked off by Shu. Yeah, pretty inauspicious beginnings for the Titans, but they're at least able to nab Reiner and quickly make a sort of hasty getaway. A lot of damage on Mira. There is that Discord Orb connection, and Shu. Again, Zen, one of his lesser played heroes, right? We used to see him on the BAP and Ana map, but already shown himself to be just as deadly here.
Yeah, Zen has worked his way back into the meta in a big way. His Discord's so strong. You see Mira get caught out there, gets Discorded, nowhere to go. That's another kill in favor of the Gladiators, as now they'll be able to march onto the point.
Not much that Shu can't do, and with him firing on all cylinders, the Gladiators just make their way comfortably onto the point here. Patapan at safe range. He can sort of play from this hotel pretty comfortably. He has that disruptor shot as well to make it really hard to pass through the choke for the Titans without taking a ton of damage here. Almost 3 ticks as Aspire drops in instantly, just blown up. Shockwave tried to, you know, combine with that dynamite, but it's not enough.
We haven't talked much about the Ashe pick here. Ashe can be a bit better at like longer ranges than these Sojourn and play a little bit safer up in those windows, but it doesn't really pay off there at the start. We'll see if Shockwave will commit to it. So Ashe can be pretty good here towards the later end of the map, right, to access some of that high ground. So like a replacement for the Widowmaker Hanzo.
Right, Shu close to a Transcendence here. Aztac, not really a feature in that previous fight, so the Gladiators have the ability here to thrust forward again. And we want to see what Shockwave sort of has in store here. I think like Dynamite's incredible for heal pressure, really, you know, putting the thumb screws on the back lines. But if you can't get into these fights, and if you're just not present like Shockwave here with these sight lines, you're less than invisible.
Yeah, it's just not the situation that Ashe wants to fight in, right? In that close to medium range. Wants to be a little bit more like the medium to long range aspect of it. So this should be the cart moving on forward. This is where Shockwave can get some value out of the Ashe, so I think, like with these longer sight lines here towards, you know, that final part of the map.
Reiner takes the stun there quite happily. The Titans have to go forward now. Shu, great response to the pulse stick. It's going to be a Transcendence, and he goes well forward.
That's going to be the point.
He's telling his team what to do. He's like, yep, go. The enemy can't stand inside this healing. You're just going to roll them. So Shu basically forced the Titans off the cart with a Transcendence. All right. It's a great way to tell your team where you want them to go, too.
In a way, yes, is the kill there at the end on Shockwave. This will actually let the payload get to like this first corner and allow Patty to get on the high ground. And he has that ultimate, so especially with players like running through this choke there, it looks like. Could end up with some huge kills.
Yeah, the Dynamite's annoying, but that's even worse. And now pop the ultimate, why not? You can't see heads easily here, so there's going to be a lot of body shot rails. Also, the Transcendence sort of means, unless you can burst someone down instantly, you get no kills there. Patapan's happy. I mean, he's caused enough pressure to be applied to the Titans. The card is careening at blistering speed towards the end of the map here. And Kester's managed to find his way around the side. Now, here's that bomb that Shockwave's been waiting for, Matt. He's sat on this for so long, and, well, he disappears as soon as he arrives.
It does buy you a little bit of time, though, as Spiral get one, Shockwave with another, so a little bit more of the long-range play paying off here for the Titans, but the Gladiators so far sitting a fantastic time. 4 minutes on the clock, so close to completing the map.
All right, 4 minutes for the Gladiators. That's an unreal lead that they have so far. And again, maybe to be expected. See the Gladiators come out of the gates, play a composition that's fairly comfortable. The Kevster Widowmaker now makes an appearance.
Yeah, and it'll be Shockwave over to that Hanzo yet again here. Control that high ground. Masa with the rally. Maybe they thought that there was going to be a Gladiators commit coming on through.
I mean, there definitely wasn't going to be one after the fact, that is for sure. House money is what the Gladiators are playing with right now. So they happily concede after Patapan gets just ruined by the rail headshot. Okay, well, that's unexpected. They go for the Transcendence. They thought they might have lured them into the trap here. How do they convert now? It's a 4v4, but spawn advantage favors the Titans. They need to push forward, but Shockwave gets the anti-Widow kill. Kevster falls across the map. Love that pathing from Reiner. Bit of a Doomfist parkour in this, man, for sure.
The DPS players, though, of the Titans are able to open up the fight with 2 picks in their favor. And even with like a trade in the middle of that there, now you're relying on what? Funny Astro's going to pop his rally, maybe Patapan get in the fight and make a play.
Yeah. Espy not happy about that when he goes for the overclock, and Patapan is able to find him first with the rail. Didn't have to be a headshot, enough damage was already done. Reiner forces a Transcendence here. Again, another really less than ideal support ultimate forced out of the Titans map.
Oh, this is a brutal spot to be fighting a Brigitte in, but he's got Funny Astro there with him, as it looks like the Gladiators will be able to pick up the kills needed. Finish the map 2:22 in the time bank. So the Gladiators storm back on offense. So we've seen this far. It's like on control, the Titans, like when it gets really fast and kind of messy and aggressive, they can play and like be the ones that set the pace. We see them play well. It seems like on their defensive ends, it seems to be a little bit lacking at this time, but I mean, we'll see. Opportunity to get a draw.
We saw Masa with a rally that didn't really have, it wasn't in sync with what the rest of the Titans wanted to do. And then Aztacs forced the Transcendence in like a 2v4 situation at the end of the round. So Vancouver are sort of forced to part, you know, hand over fist with a lot of those key support ultimates that would sort of let them hang on a little bit longer. It's really the Titans DPS players that sort of slow the Gladiators down. As soon as the Glads like get a pick, they try and start a fight. It's like, okay, Shockwave's found one. Across the map with Hanzo, he's just killed Kevster or something like that. So some good looks from the Titans who are able to just sort of stand up. And I'm going to reiterate, Mira is not being left behind by Reiner in this Doomfist matchup. He looks fantastic.
Mm-hmm. No, this is definitely a really nice look here for the Titans, where, you know, regardless of what happens in this series, you have a lot to build off of. So the Gladiators, you have some options here with 2:22 in the clock. You know, most likely they're going to play that Ashe again, play that long range, so it gives you a little bit more options on what you want to play as. Looks like they'll play the they'll play the Reinhardt here. They're probably just going to try and rush as, oh, that's going to be what? Oh, he takes out a Spire with a right click. That is massive.
That is unreal. What a gigantic pick from Patapan, making up for the fact that he was on the receiving end of the first pick when he was defending. Another little redemption arc in a series of them for Patapan. Shoes off that immortality field, but Mira's knocked to the ground, and he's done so. This map is over.
I mean, just like that, a right click from Patapan seals the deal for the Gladiators. Is they go up 2-0, but this has been a hard-fought series.
Yep, not the way we thought we'd get here, Matt. The Titans showing us, again, the fruits of their labor over a very short window. They've had to try and find a look that works, and so far it's been excellent. Now, Kings Row, like we said, and their first map didn't really expose those weaknesses so much. The question is when we get to Escort, the Titans do get to choose yet another map, their last chance. They can pick something that suits them to stay alive in what has been a pretty competitive series so far. all things considered, stick around, of course. Obviously, the map is preset, mind you, so yeah, no chance to choose now. I'm stuck in Texas mode. Don't go too far. Map number 3 and the last chance for the Titans looms.
Enjoy the detonation.
rotation to the point, but it's WGS Phoenix winning the fight. Saved by Aztec though. It happened. Oh my god. Even Scale instantly deleted.
Oh my goodness. The old bait switcher.
Have you picked up the legendary Luchador Reaper skin yet? The Kickoff Clash legendary skin is still on sale through June 25th for just 200 League tokens. Don't miss your chance to own a piece of Overwatch League history. Yeah, we got to see a bit of the Reaper guy in the Kickoff Clash a little bit less of that so far. It not only seems to want to play that composition, and as Danny and Johnny said on Watchpoint earlier on, it's like Dallas tried it, didn't work out. So perhaps we move away from those comps for now in the Overwatch League.
I think so. I think with how good Sojourn is right now, and Tracer obviously always pretty effective, it doesn't seem like there's a place right now for that Zarya Reaper comp.
Yeah, a little bit tough to make it work here, though. Now, we talked about winning the breakup, Matthew. Previous teammates of yesteryear, False and Reiner, now going head-to-head. We have a substitution at tank here as Mira comes out. False will be coming in. I'm curious to see what the pick is. Again, we talk about, False alongside Reiner. He was playing a lot of that off-tank as well. So all of those are still available. False's Winston, we've seen a fair bit of so far. And again, he struggled. But I think it has a lot more to do with how coordinated the team is around that Winston. Whereas the Glads didn't have that problem. First game out, Reiner comes out in Winston and just does a lot of work on Ilios, that very, very first series here. So curious if we see anything like that, because 66, Matt, this was the kind of Zarya Reaper map in the previous stage.
Yeah, and for the Gladiators, it'll be the subs. It'll be Ons coming in and then Skewed. So Ons typically comes in for like that Widowmaker long-range hit scan, and then Skewed on the Brigitte. So we'll see what the Gladiators have cooked up here.
Well, hang on your hats, ladies and gentlemen, because this is where the Titans, well, keep this series going, frankly. They've shown us they can hang. They've shown us they can make maps competitive, but they need to sort of win one. It's a big ask against a team like this, the Gladiators, but you've got to start somewhere.
So I do not expect the Doomfist from the Titans after subbing out Mirror. I think you're going to see them go in a completely different direction. What direction that is, we'll find out. I mean, maybe the Sigma, maybe Winston, potentially like a Reinhardt here. It'll be for the Gladiators on defense thus far. It'll look like it'll be the Sigma in play. So, and then interesting. So Skewed and not on the Brigitte. He'll actually be on the Baptiste. As Shu will stay on the Zen. So, interesting setup here. We usually see Skewed always come into play the Brig, but maybe they have him pick up the Baptiste in this type of scenario, because Funny Astro plays a lot of like the Lucia, right? Even the Brig, not as much of the Baptiste.
That's right, yeah. When we had the Gladiators in situations where they wanted to play sort of, don't want to use like Lucio or that Mercy, we saw Skewed involved. Interesting to see the Baptiste here. I mean, we saw what Shu did on this end. Really scary stuff from him. The Gladiators want to play a poke comp. Double sniper with the Sigma. Bit of poke here.
Looks like we're going to see some changes, though, as Aspire will go over to the Tracer, and then Shockwave will play the Hanzo. So Tracer in the mix, put a little bit more pressure onto Reiner, put a little bit more pressure onto the Gladiators backline, and still a Hanzo to try and challenge this double sniper setup.
So much of the game plan for the defending team is predicated on these picks. So again, a lot of responsibility falls onto Aspire's shoulders. You can't just trust Shockwave to win every long-range duel. As the Tracer, you need to attract as much attention from these snipers as humanly possible. Give your team some time to move this card up. So far, not too shabby for the Titans.
Well, the thing is, here with the double sniper setup on defense, the offense, you only have that one shield, right? Typically, like, you'd have like a double shield set up in play. You can kind of avoid them at times. It's going to be very difficult to do. Nice shot there, a headshot and a Shu. It's going to take out some extra damage there.
No, it's a nightmare. He's trying to, fight both Widow and Hanzo at the same time and still picks off the most high-value target. That's ridiculous. And now he might even win out against Kevster. This Shockwave kid, man, there's something to this guy, I'm telling you.
Huge kills here from Shockwave at range. Just the aim that he has is just nutty. It'll be a point A take. Really no difficulties there for the Titans.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a sort of quasi sort of poke composition with a Tracer in tow against like the pokiest of poke comps. It doesn't get more pokey than this. Double sniper with that Sigma Zen Baptiste setup. But again, predicated on picks that just didn't happen.
No one can hide.
As Ons gets one here now. You're a Titans player fan. You not want to see him get cooking here on the Widowmaker as Tracer goes down. It's, barely gets out. Yeah.
Again, no real mechanism to match the Infrasight outside of, I guess, Sonic Arrow. So Arns knew he could play much more aggressively during that window. Still, Aztec definitely gave him some cause for concern, but it slowed down the Titans, right? They're able to get, you know, some form of neutral fight between their what exists of their front lines, and False definitely getting coming up second best there.
Yeah. So Reiner gets tagged a little bit. Can he use the gravitic flux though?
Look at the Shockwave now. Shockwave wasn't caught in that flux, but he wants to make life harder for this Hanzo, who's just been such a nuisance. Shockwave commits to playing in a cave against the Hyperspheres, so he probably knew he had an expiry date.
Yeah, and without Shockwave, you don't have anything long range here, as the gravitic flux is used by False, but so many players drop for the Titans as it's going up.
Yeah, and Matrix is also there, so even though they lack that extra firepower of Arns, there's still a whole lot the Glads can do to hold their ground. Interesting here, speculative Dragon Strike thrown into the Saloon, maybe hoping the Gladiators had a reason to sort of play more clumped together, but everyone gets out scot-free.
I was going to say, maybe they think they can get like Reiner low enough for Aztec coming off the spawn to get him at an angle. You'd have Transcendence if they kind of got onto the car, try to battle it out, but trying to dislodge Reiner from this position where he's playing on this rock here, very difficult to get rid of.
Shockwave falls back. Those Hyperspheres, real nuisance for the Hanzo. Shield in his way, and Aztec finally is laid low. And there's Shu's firepower.
Just
a big reminder of that once more.
It's not even like the damage from the Gladiators that's like really difficult. It's like just like the lethality of like the lineup that they have, right? Where like, you know, you see right there, Shockwave, like he turns the corner, he can get one shot by the, you know, Zen Volley, Hanzo, Widowmaker, like so many things that can just take somebody out if they poke out a little bit too far.
Like it's not the sheer amount of damage, right? It's how quickly it comes and how focused it is.
And it does need to come from multiple targets. Like you could go, like he could go lower here and think he's gonna go challenge somebody, right? And if it's a Zen, he's loading up a volley, or a Hanzo like lands a shot, like he's dead instantly.
Arns holds the Infrasight for a moment. Oh, nicely done! That's not an easy shot to hit again. Shockwave delights us. As Arns is taken down with Infrasight available. Another one there on right, a bit of a freebie now as Shockwave gets to move into more aggressive positioning.
I hope we got that one on replay from his POV. That is, from Arns' POV, that looked like an unreal shot.
Let's just say Seagull feels vindicated now. He's been avenged.
Yeah.
Oh, is that rather sheepish Infrasight? All right. Arns trying to see just how badly his kingdom is eroded in his absence. Pretty bad. No great sightlines to play with right now, and that card is still moving forward. Right now able to find Aztec though. That's a pretty big headshot. Force falls back.
This has been a lot like what we've seen though in this series. Like the Titans, their offenses have been good. It's just been their defenses that have been a little bit lacking. We'll see if it'll change when they go on the defensive side of things. But so far, Gladiators with this double sniper set up. It'll be Aspire's actually going to change here at the end, Mitch. I think you just need to, even if you're not gonna, like, you don't think this is the right exact move, like you need to kind of counter this as Shockwave's behind them right now. Okay.
All right. None the wiser are the Gladiators. Poison mine to the caves. All right, has to be a Transcendence there. Reiner's going to be happy enough with that one. Repositioning there from Masa, trying to get out of the way of the Widowmaker as he shield bashes across. Now, what of Shockwave? Are they ready for this Dragon Strike? Comes from a weird angle. It's definitely going to give his position away, but it doesn't claim any kills. Shu doesn't quite know where he needs to be with this Transcendence. Oh my God, Aztec!
He knows where he needs to be.
My God, Air Matrix thrown up, and Shu's very first orb comes out and claims him a kill. That'll be that double sniper comp. Too strong for the Titans there as they are left scratching their heads.
He needs to relocate using the Transcendence. Actually, he ends up using it to save Reiner, because Reiner's up on that high ground with the gravitic flux. I think probably used it to save him from the flux, but doesn't realize the dragon is coming from his side of the map. Ends up saving both of them probably from falling at the hands of that Dragon Strike.
Yeah, I mean, Shockwave really spent time sort of laying those plans for this sort of bizarre flanking Dragon Strike. And who knows what he was up to there, really. But once the Dragon Strike came out, didn't really get any kills. And Shockwave obviously gives his position away there. So the Gladiators at least have a chance to respond to that. And it's the Gravitic Flux that comes out, right? Rhino doesn't get any kills with that, but it slows the Titans down in a big way. Makes it hard for them to sort of make sure that the flank from Shockwave is coming at the right time.
No double sniper on defense. They'll go with the Tracer with the Hanzo setup yet again. So Gladiators, I fully expect him to commit to this double sniper. Let's see the shot.
Off Sonic? No. Oh, man. Oh, he's still busted. Come on, bro. Oh, was Rhino ahead of his shield there?
It might have been just a little bit.
A few particle effects there, hard to tell, but I don't even know if Shockwave intended to get that kill, but just to pressure the shield down. Oh, we'll be happy with that either way. Still, quite a job for the Titans here. They're really going to get sort of most of the way through that second part of the map here, and it's so volatile, Matt, playing against the double sniper setup.
Yeah, and it's going to be very difficult, I think, for Spire to make use of this Tracer on the defensive side of things rather than on offense. Going into the Hanzo in the Zen going to be a little bit harder.
All right. Hans, he's watching some close angles, so he's expecting a Tracer here from Aspire. Spots him out there briefly. Poison Mine revealed that. Still, this is the awkward spot for the double sniper setup, man. Not the best of sidelines.
No, this is where you're just trying to find any pick. So, the Titans have done a nice job not giving them anything, right? Playing that Sigma with the Brig up on the high ground and then the Tracer to contest the card on the low ground.
Good pressure, but mostly via body shots here from Arns. Oh, wow! Okay, it looks like he was knocked across there by a Hypersphere. That actually ruined his aim on that shot. Not saying it would have hit it otherwise, but definitely made it harder. Oh, had a chance there on Aspire. Aspire was hit with a Discord Orb, so even a body shot might have been enough there, and eventually the Titans actually able to win out. That elongated trade from the high ground goes their way.
And if Hans isn't going to hit some of those shots, not exactly the easiest shots, but still shots we've seen him hit in the past, it'll be very difficult to push with this Widowmaker.
Again, first step is getting that Sigma off the high ground, but he's playing alongside the Brig, so even if you push into that setup, I mean, the defenders are ready for you. They have a lot of proximity-based healing. They can then benefit from the AoE that you're using as attackers to poke them in that little aperture. Ooh, Aztec spotted. Kevs to finish the job there. From two different sources came long-range damage, and it was enough. Right, able to win out eventually. They get rid of Master. They force the Titans out of this position, but False, he's there with Aspire and Shockwave. They come alive once more, and the Gladiators are having a real problem trying to crack open this nut, this high ground defense.
Yeah, even after getting Aztec, which is huge, right? Getting rid of the Discord, not able to make any more progress. So that was an Ant Matrix used there as well for the Gladiators. So Aztec playing on that ramp, though. They're going to know he's there, as that's exactly where he fell the last time.
Oh my. Arns just gets caught on a 1v1 against False, but did False make a blunder by going for that play? Skew's able to eliminate a spy here, and the aggressive positioning tells me that the Gladiators are ready to finish the fight.
Yeah, it's that time. False, we saw he turned the corner to get like a shield in Ansa's face, but everybody else had kind of taken over Big Earls and gotten up on the high ground, and Shockwave's just a large source of the damage with Aztec as well. So the walls here. It's going to prevent them from even getting a touch.
Sorry, the Dragon Strike came through there. Shocko got pressured. Skew pushed his way through the tunnel.
And you know, you push up a little bit here to try and get this maybe contest, and now you're in a spot where you may end up staggering here, and now you're throwing in some more ults.
Kev's just thinking about the Dragon from that position, I'm sure of it. He holds onto it though, good patience as the Transcendence comes out. Dragon comes a little bit later, Gravitic Flux being used by False.
Oh, nice shot.
Reiner was caught in that one. Yeah, I mean, Reiner's in a little bit of trouble here. The rest of his team needs to sort of push to where he is. He's dancing shields while he can. But the Gravitic Flux is enough for the Titans to encircle the enemy Sigma.
Oh, I've seen from False when he had that Gravitic Flux, right? He had his own Sigma shield in play, knew that Reiner was lining up an accretion, and did a great job just kind of like angling himself to dodge that. But now coming in for the Gladiators, you have both support ults here. Everything was thrown in by the Titans, just trying to survive.
All right. It's been rocky. Anything but smooth sailing for the Glad so far, but again, it's yeah, the combination of Amp Matrix and a support player. This time, Skewed finds 2. Thank you very much.
You know, they catch Moss out a little bit forward there. Maybe didn't expect him to come through that high ground and then wrap around towards the payload, but that's exactly what happens. And you drop that Amp Matrix there, you just blow up the Brigitte, and then you just jump down. You're able to deal with the Zen rather quickly. This payload will get close to completion.
I feel like the composure for the Titans has been quite good, right? Their defensive holds on both stages of the map. But it's just one fight, one little thing, whether it's a positioning error, someone overextending, like false.
You're also going up against a championship team, like the number 1 team from that.
But the Titans, the Titans are forcing errors, though, out of the Gladiators a lot of these fights. But they've got 90 seconds to hold on for, so they need to do that again in this fight. This fight, get a win here, force Transcender, still win regardless, then they're in good shape. It's far from over here, but Kevster gets Shockwave. He wins that battle. Look at him, set up there. Proud as a pigeon on the high ground. Aztec falls to long-range pressure from Shu, and he looks like he's far from done. Ryder needs help, and Shu plunges into the enemy formation with their Transcendence up. The healing's going to be there, and Skewed gets involved once more. That's another series for the Los Angeles Gladiators, with the Titans. I think they can be happy with this, even in a 3-0.
It was a pretty close, like, as terms of 3-0s get, like, that is a close one. You can see, like, on the scoreline, right? Control, map 1 goes all the way down to the end where the Titans even looked like they had a lead at the end. Kings Row, very competitive, and then same here on Route 66. So typically, the series like this, you kind of look and it's a 3-0, but you really have to watch it to appreciate how close of a series this was.
Yeah, absolutely. And it wasn't just the Mirror Doomfist that this entire sort of run was predicated on, right? We speculated before the show saying, hey, look, Sigma's pretty good now, right? Well, while False maybe wasn't able to find success in a lot of his Winston battles in the kickoff Clash qualifiers, now Sigma seems to be the go-to on a few of these maps where he can maybe ease into a style that suits him just a little bit better. The time is definitely right for the Vancouver Titans to sort of make up for lost time. I think it's worth pointing out, though, that the Midseason Madness counts the first stage as well as this Midseason Madness qualifiers for qualifications. So you start this run 06. That 06 matters if you're trying to fight in the Midseason Madness. So this is definitely a stage where if you're the Titans, you realize that you say, we're still trying to rebuild. We're still trying to find what works. But I think there's a lot of really important data for them to take from this series and the rest of this stage to help them improve.
If I remember correctly as well, I think they have like a really tough schedule here in this Midseason Madness. Like over their next 6 games, they play a lot of the teams in the upper echelon of the league. But like you were mentioning, you start off the kickoff clash right 0-6. I think what you do is you obviously try and get some wins here during Midseason Madness, get as many points as you can. You then kind of really build towards that 3rd tournament of the year, right? Where it's just the stage 3. It's just those points in that one earned to qualify for the tournament. Maybe you're able to qualify there, get some more points, make a run towards that play-in at the end of the season.
You can see how, on the other side, the Gladiators, their vaunted flexibility that they often boast having is tested. It's going to be tested in this Midseason Madness qualifier. They were 4-2 previously, in the kickoff clash. Where they came squeaky clean behind the ears was when it got to land. They've got to make it there again. But this is a great start for them so far. Just talk about a player of the match, though, here. A lot of chopping and changing, a lot of substitutions from the Gladiators players, but we're going to give it to Patapan here for, again, some really important impacts, especially early in the series. The pick on Kings Row is the one that really stands out to me, but this guy's picking up, hit scan duty alongside Kevster in some situations, right? We've seen him on Sojourn when Kevster switches back off. He's showed us a bunch of different looks here. Was a really key component of that sort of early build of momentum in this series, man.
Yeah, he had some crucial plays on Lijiang Tower. We were talking about it when he switched over to Cassidy here with some big kills with the Magnetic Grenade, the Sojourn play on Kings Row, also being able to switch towards other things like the May, and then sealing away Kings Row, which was a very close map with the kill onto Aspire early on the May. It was really the biggest difference here today, as Patapan had a good series when he was in.
Yeah, he's got a sniper score line here, right? Like sub 7k hero damage per 10, but like those final blows are above 10 here. And again, railgun accuracy that's above 50%. So a lot of these Sojourn players are feeling very comfortable. They're finding they're able to hit these rails with sometimes alarming consistency, and it skews a lot of these fights heavily one way or the other. You saw what Shockwave could do on the same pick. So for these two teams going forward, yes, we have a winner, we have a loser, but both should be pleased with some of the insights they're able to take away from this match so far, and so should we, as we're starting to understand what the meta's shaping up like. I think we want to, sprinkle a bit more context on that and that whole discussion as it develops, Matt. So let's head over to Watchpoint and have them break down the day that was here. I'm very curious to hear what our experts have to say about what we've seen so far in terms of metagame. So we'll see you in a moment.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Upper Deck, the official trading card of the Overwatch League. And by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.
Welcome to the post show, everybody. I'm here joined by Funny Astro from Los Angeles Gladiators. Funny Astro, congratulations on the win. And also, I don't think I congratulated you guys for winning the kickoff clash as well. So congratulations on being the champions of stage 1 as well.
Thank you.
And I'm talking to this one. Let's talk about this match. I mean, I personally think Gladiators' biggest forte is, of course, you guys have great players, but also you guys have you guys are a very versatile team. Versatile team. Even today we saw the Doomfist composition, you guys pulled out the Rush. Not only that, at the very end we saw Sigma double sniper composition as well. So, Funny Astro, I just want to ask you, out of all those different compositions that you guys could play, what do you feel the most comfortable with?
I think we're comfortable just swapping. We're really flexible and we're not scared to just pick random heroes and change to whatever we feel like will work. So I don't think there's any one comp we're most flexible on or most confident on.
Okay. How about is there your personal favorite composition that you like?
I personally just like any comp with Lucio in, but I'm not sure what everyone else agrees with that.
Okay. You're one of the best Lucios that we have, so that sort of makes sense. And also, I do feel like it is a bit early to ask this, but I'm just out of curiosity about the meta. Do you believe the meta is sort of already set? I mean, judging by, because you guys the teams are always scrimming together, and also we saw a couple matches. It's only been a couple days, but do you think the meta is sort of setting right now, or do you think it's still developing?
I think it's still developing for sure. I think Sojourn, people are only just starting to realize how strong she is. She looks really powerful. With the railgun one shot, it's almost got no counterplay. So I think we'll probably see a lot more of that. And as for the rest of the heroes, I don't know what's good at the moment.
No Zen kick. A lot of people like the Zen kick.
Zen kick is a little broken, but I'm not sure what else you're meant to play with it. As long as you got Zen and Sojourn, I think you're good.
All right. Well, interesting. All right, Funny Astro, thank you so much for your time, and again, big congratulations on the win, and hope to talk to you again soon, bro.
Great. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Funny Astro, bro.
Bro.
I love that you slipped that one in.
Bro.
They're like this now. They had 3 minutes of small talk heading into that interview, you're essentially married.
Yeah, he told me about his Funny Astro name, where the name comes from. I only heard dinosaur, or Zoe talking about dinosaur. So I don't know how that...
It is a dinosaur-related reference, yes.
But you won't tell me.
Because you could have listened to him, he explained it.
Talking to me. I'm now so curious.
So rude.
How that...
So are the viewers.
Huh?
The viewers are just what did they talk about?
Yeah.
Now you're not alone. Now everyone doesn't know. Yeah. So now Funny Astro has to make a tweet longer or something.
A tweet longer.
Tweet longer about my name.
About that. I'm waiting for that one. In the meantime, though, we can talk about the match we just saw. I think Matt put it very nicely. As far as 3-0s go, that was a close one. It was. I mean, that sounds more like an insult than a compliment, but it actually was meant as a compliment, because I think a lot of us didn't expect the Vancouver Titans to be able to put up quite the fight that they did. How did they manage to play it a little closer on each and every map of Reinforce?
They have unbelievable firepower on this team. Yeah, so I tried to set them up a little bit. Okay, I know they didn't win in the maps, but I tried to just like a crumb of opium for the Vancouver Titans, right? Because they have very skilled players, and that's something that Matt also said on the cast, right? That Vancouver Titans, they're 0-6, 0-7 now, but they're not necessarily just an awful team like we've had in some previous seasons, where it's just this team that they're not going to win a match all season. The Vancouver Titans, they can compete. They have the player talent available to do a pretty good job here in the Overwatch League. So when you have Shockwave, who can pop off like he did on Sojourn, you have Mirror, who had a really impressive Doomfist showing here on Lijiang Tower, just the way he stayed alive so long in these fights. It was an absolute nuisance to the backline of the LA Gladiators. And then also, as I mentioned, being able to throw falls onto that Sigma on Route 66, I think these are a couple of good looks from the Vancouver Titans. Being able to complete King's Row here against the LA Gladiators, I mean, few teams can do that, right? So that's a testament to how good the Vancouver Titans can be. And I expect them to win a lot of maps this stage. I expect them to actually get 1 or 2 upset wins here because there is some uncertainty with the meta. Some of these teams that we knew as very strong elite in stage 1, there's no guarantee that they'll be fantastic in the Midseason Madness, right, with a new meta change. So the Vancouver Titans, they're punching upwards, and an impressive 0-3 loss.
But I just want to say I was very impressed with Mirror's Doomfist as well. I think they got something going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Positive thing.
I mean, Miro, as he came into the league, like he was hailed and known as a fantastic Doomfist player. It's great to see that coming into play today, and I thoroughly enjoyed both teams also utilizing that Sojourn. Generally, I think today we were treated to a lot more Sojourn, which we deserved. All right, we've been waiting an entire stage for that to happen, so it's great to see her being utilized in a lot of different ways as well. Reinforce when we talked about her and about the meta, you mentioned that it's a little unsure like what her actual place is or what her real role is. Have you figured that out based on the last few days?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway is just like she's really strong right now. Like her kit is really good. Like being able to hit these headshots with the charged up alternate fire. I mean, that you're essentially like a Widowmaker from afar, and they increase the radius, right? So you don't have to be as precise to get these headshots with the alternate fire, and that very small buff makes a big difference when you have these incredibly mechanically skilled players in the Overwatch League. Because the ratio of headshots you're going to get with that, the ratio of picks we're going to get. How many times today did we just see a damage player just like open up a fight by getting a long-range headshot, right, with that alternate fire? It makes a huge difference. So Sojourn just puts out so much damage, a lot of pick potential, and being able to generate as well that alternate fire on these shields, like when you're playing on Sigma, it makes a big difference.
Yeah, it's just, Costa said it as well in his cast with Jaws. Like, she's just so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's such a fast-paced, fun, high impact, very zoom. That's the technical term for it. And that's why, of course, it's no surprise that she must have made it into some of our best of the days.
Yeah,
she not.
maybe.
So, Danny, what you got? You got a Sojourn play for us? Yes or no?
Yeah, I think this character is called Sojourn. I don't know. It's this gun lady that has really thick thighs. And can one-shot headshot. And mine is about that lady, and the player that played it was Hisu. Yes, it's Sojourn. Yes, and this shot right there, we just missed it. It was super quick, but I think that aim was just
disgusting.
Oh, this ghosting play from Hisu. Just on top. Yeah.
We had a couple of these, right?
Yeah, there was. I think there was one from. Was it from Aspire as well on the last match? Yeah.
Mid-air,
Kings
man.
Row. Yeah.
I love when
mid-air, that too.
When we're watching the game, like in the truck, and like people are walking around getting a water, coming back to the games, and sometimes you're just like, whoa! It's just like, just crazy shot, and the entire truck just like, woo!
For so long, those kind of reactions were like sort of designated for like Widow plays, and now I'm just happy that like it could be Widow or Sojourn now.
Or a Zenyatta kick, like it can be anything at this point, honestly. And I love the current way to play in Overwatch is there's so much carry potential, so much pop-off potential in those 5v5 kind of scenarios. And I had a particular individual popping off big times. And that should have been yours, honestly, Danny. Like, I don't know if I yoinked this point from you or not. Maybe I did, but
Kai,
that Kai guy, though.
The Kai, though.
Like, he's just casually getting a 5K.
5K. Okay.
A 5K? A 5K? Yes, actually. Big yes to that lower third.
Was this a 5K? 3K? Oh, does he get 2 more here?
5.
That was a 5K.
And then he wraps around.
It was a 5K, felt like a 10K. Yeah. Honestly, just amazing all across the board. I mean, Kai is just a joy to watch, and it's great to see him not just like further in the back when he's on that Widowmaker making things happen, but like getting into the midst of things with that Sojourn and just like absolutely wrecking.
Yeah. He's always just like, he never gets really hyped.
You can't see that in his face.
Like, oh, I got 5K. He never does. He's just like. All right, next kill.
I want to have that calm. I really do. What did it for you today, Reinforce?
Well, I got another Sojourn clip for you.
Oh!
Right here.
Wow.
Not today. No, I actually don't.
You got me hyped there for a second.
No, it's not Sojourn, okay? It's Doomfist, okay?
Close enough.
Yeah. Hawk here. Hawk here. Punching out an Echo. into the air. And like this is what you can do as a tank player when you learn the Doomfist kit.
Oh.
Being able to utilize that seismic slam to leap up into the air and then punch echoes out of the air.
Yeah,
there's a joke here.
Railgun or like a boosted. What is that weapon even called? The fisted glove thingy
Fist
he has.
of Doom.
Is that an actual weapon? I mean, he has a weapon attached to it.
The hand cannon?
Yeah.
Is it a hand cannon?
The whole thing.
The whole
What is it
thing.
called?
The glove.
Little trivia for everybody.
The actual hand.
Yeah, is it just called the glove?
Is it the Doom Fist? No?
Is it called the Doomfist?
I don't know.
It might
Meteor.
Oh wow, no one. And
mysteries
we work
questions
here.
which need to be answered.
There's a canon name for it. We're just stupid. That's what.
I'm pretty sure there is a name for it. That's it. That's all I have. Like I'm pretty sure there's a name for the weapon.
Doom
Either
weapon.
way, the Doom weapon. We'll figure it out as we go along. We're the experts here, obviously, as you can tell. Yeah, no, that was great. Let's just like glance over that one, gloss over this one, and look at tomorrow's schedule.
Yeah, everybody
to
forget about
distract
it.
From
All right.
our lack of knowledge.
All right, tomorrow's schedule.
There we go. Good distractions coming in hot with the Outlaws taking on the Washington Justice in our first game tomorrow, followed by the Paris Eternal, who will be fighting it out with the LA Gladiators. And last but certainly not least, the Dallas Fuel will go up against the Atlanta Reign again. This one I'm very excited. I'm going to set this up as the ultimate grudge match.
Yeah.
It's going to be such a revenge story, and might be one in favor of the Atlanta Reign, as they have been looking good so far, whereas Dallas Fuel, they had a slow start, Danny.
Yeah, no, they definitely need to prove themselves. Like, I remember yesterday, what was it yesterday they played? Was it? That was yesterday, yeah.
Sure.
That was yesterday. They unfortunately lost, and I did say that, Dallas Fuel tends to have like slower starts. It already started, so it's time, Dallas Fuel, to, all right, get back on, all right? Get back on.
It's still a circle.
Yeah,
I thought we went linear.
Time's ticking. All right, Dallas Fuel. I believe in you guys.
All right, Reinforce, which match are you hyped about?
I think it has to be the Outlaws against the Justice. It's a very like story-based. There's a word for it. It's the Outlaws against the Justice. It's very typical of a great story. It's when the Justice comes for the Outlaws, and they're going to take on.
Oh, I see where you're going with this one.
Yeah, there's a word for it.
Almost an RPG at this point.
Yeah, it's a great story. So I'm looking forward to see the Outlaws against the Justice. See who comes out on top. It's going to be a thriller.
Are you for Outlaws or for Justice?
Yeah, are you a good guy or bad guy?
Do you fight for
I root for the
justice?
winners. So I'm going to pick the winners tomorrow.
Well, that's
Okay.
easy cop out. We take it. Why not? Yeah, I think we're out of steam. It was a long day and it's very hot in this truck actually right now. So yeah, I think this is a perfect time to say goodbye. We thank you all for watching. Thank you, gentlemen, once again for joining me here in our truck. We will be back with all the action day number 3 here in our mid-season Midseason Madness.
Midsummer season madness.
No, there's no summer in this word.
There isn't?
No, I don't think so. Anyway, it's been a long day. Thank you so much for watching. See you again tomorrow. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Midseason Madness.